Hi, today I would like to talk about being strong as a targeted individual, as a victim of organized gang stalking, and I'm going to give my perspective of this strong and how it is used in the case of targeted individuals. It's not used in a nice way at all. If you're a targeted individual, if you're seriously and heavily being gang stalked, being strong is never a positive thing the way you're going to be treated, because the handlers depends, on how long they have been stalking you, harassing you, intruding upon your life and causing pain into your life, making you suffer. It really depends, but it seems to me like the longer you survive, the more they're going to start using that label against you. Like, they're going to be spreading this around the community, or this person is so strong they can take anything, and that is completely wrong. I feel pretty much literally straight up disrespected. I feel humiliated by the word strong. Nowadays, I don't even want to hear that word anymore. I hate it when people tell me I'm strong, because most of the time they're not saying it in a friendly way. They're not saying it in a comforting way. It's more like, you're strong, I can do whatever shit I want to you. You can just take it because you are stone. You're not flesh and blood. You don't have feelings. You are like, you're strong. You are a stone. You are a rock. You have no feeling, no nothing. You can take whatever you take. And anything anybody does to you, I don't have to feel sorry for you. I don't have to empathize with you. I don't have to comfort you. I don't have to offer you emotional support. I don't have to offer you anything, because you are just strong. You've been through so much, and so much you have been through in the mind of this person telling you that you're strong is really something you haven't even told that person. Is based again on what your handlers and their team are spreading across to the community about you. Again, most of the time, it's not even what you've been through. Sometimes it's just fabricated stories about you surviving, being strong. These people, they just lie about anything. They just kind of like exaggerate anything and just make everything bigger than it actually is. So in my case, I really have come to hate that word. I just hate to hear somebody tell me I'm strong. I just hate it. I don't want to hear it, because the way it's been used against me is like kind of an excuse to do me more wrong, an excuse to not offer me any support, an excuse to just do me more wrong and just to keep me suffering, and that is completely wrong. And I don't think any TI who have certainly been a victim of organized gang stalking for many years and have so far survived should really accept this abuse of the word strong. Because first of all, if you're a TI, you did not choose to be strong, number one. Secondly, all these things that were done to you, you did not choose any of it. Most of the times, you never even did anything to provoke these things. You never invited these things your way. It was thrown at you because you are like a Lego in a Lego brick, in a Lego board. You're like in a Monopoly game, like one of the objects that they just push around. It's nothing you did that caused most of the things happening to your life. Even the few things, or some of the things that you can clearly tell, oh yes, I did something wrong here and this is what happened. Most of the time, it would have never gotten to that extent had it not been for your handler and everybody stalking you. It's like, what I've noticed with these people, they just wait for the opportunity to attack you, to exaggerate and make things worse, to cause suffering on you. It's like any mistake you made, they are there ready to fire guns at you, to fire arrows at you. It's like, you can't afford being a human being when you're a TI. When you're being gangster, you can't afford to make any mistakes, because anything is used against you. And it's like, I have noticed this so strongly. Anytime a tiny mistake I make, something that normal people wouldn't even have to think about, in my case, it becomes a big issue, because my handler and their team, they make it a big issue. They exaggerate it, add into it to make it a really big problem when there's really no problem there. It's just normal mistake. By just being vulnerable, the tiniest things, like if you just recently got sacked for a job wrongfully, of course, as a targeted individual, and you end up asking for help with the council or seeking any social services for people in need according to your situation, may it be food, housing, or anything like that, these people, the handlers or whoever are doing this to you, they're just going to abuse the situation. They'll be sending people to interrogate you. The workers in the social services will be interrogating you, abusing you, disrespecting you, making it difficult for you to receive the service. And then while they're doing that, they'll be sending people who are also seeking the same service, trying to so-called be your friends. But all they're really doing is just to abuse you and mock you for being in that situation, as if they themselves are not in that situation, questioning you like, how come an intelligent person like you is this kind of situation? Or you should be working in an office right now, you should be a CEO. Why are you here? Why are you using this service? All sort of stuff. And then they will start now brainwashing these people to think that you're not really in need, that you're hiding money somewhere. You know, like your bank account is floated with money, but you're just there abusing the welfare system, things like that. When from the beginning, they are really responsible for even putting you in this situation, which costs you now to seek social help, to seek the government as you're entitled to. But no, you're not supposed to seek that help. You're supposed to just rot outside and die. You know, so to me, being strong, I don't want to hear that word. I hate that word. It's completely inappropriate for me or anybody in this situation, because with us, targeted individual, strong is not an option, is not a nice thing. It's survival. You are fighting for your breath every day, pretty much. Every situation you put in, it's fighting. It's about being so-called strong. It's like you're fighting over your own blood. You're fighting for your blood to keep floating in your vein. That is what strong is for targeted individual. So no, I don't like that word at all. And I don't think any other TI who have seriously, honestly been a strong survivor for many years to accept this strong, because it's never meant in a positive way. It's always meant in a terms of mockery, terms of abuse, terms of humiliation. So, you know, I understand perfectly that most targeted individuals commit suicide, because this life we are living, it is not life at all. It's like we don't have the right to live. We have been put in a almost like a virtual reality prison cell. We're not in a physical prison, we're not locked up, but our life is completely locked up. Social life is destroyed, and from what I have learned, they usually, most of the times, unless you're a whistleblower or you were involved with Freemasonry, occultic stuff like that, usually they pick people up based on their vulnerabilities. People who come from broken homes, women who split up from abusive relationships, things like that, is people who already are vulnerable in society, who pretty much already have little or no social support. And this is exactly my case. It's like I'm one of those people who come from a broken home. It's like from the beginning, I never really had a strong social bond, because those people who were supposed to offer me that foundation never did their job. And it's like, I don't even know who my biological parents are. I have no idea, because the people who so-called are my parents, who are literally registered as my mother and father, based on the way I have been treated, I can tell there is no way these people are even my biological parents. And I am in a war with these people. I'm in a war to take a DNA test with them. And, you know, my handler, whatever they're doing, they are protecting these people. And this makes me question if I was actually willingly given to these handlers by my so-called parents, if they perhaps signed me up or something for some so-called government purpose to help me of my need or something like that. They probably wasn't even aware that they were literally selling me to something like this, but I'm beginning to suspect that they may have signed up for something, maybe something like troubled children thing, something like that, some kind of lie in that kind of terms. Because anything to do with these so-called parents, they are the most protected people in my history of being a TI. Every other person, if I raise a complaint against them, before I'm finally shut down, people will try to do things along the way, like try to follow normal procedures, trying to talk to me about it, stuff that trying to offer me guidelines of how to go about this complaint, the wrongdoing that has been done to me. But in terms of my so-called parents, it's completely impossible to do anything. Nobody wants to talk to me about it. It's just completely shut up. I even contacted the hospital about this, that I'm struggling with taking DNA tests with my registered parents, and they don't have anything to say. No guidance, no nothing. It's like anything concerning these people, they're fully protected. It's so obvious that my targeting is because of these people. It's like I am so pissed at these people. You have no idea. It's like they just destroyed my childhood and my future at once. And they will not even allow me to know the truth. The truth. I have the right to know who my real parents are, how I ended up in their care, and why they did to me what they did. I have right to know these things, but no, in my situation, I have no right as a TI. It's like my situation is so different from anybody else. In fact, I have tried to do my research on broken homes and parents lying about being parents, stolen children, stuff like that, and I cannot find anybody who have a similar story to mine. Nobody. It's like, it's completely just different. And these handlers, they obviously know the truth, and they have used these people in my targeting from a very early age, and they're still protecting them. I was 5 years old when a woman I used to know as an aunt revealed herself to be my real mother, and that the person I was living with, who I thought was my mother, is really a grandmother. This woman now flies me off to Norway to a so-called daddy, probably her childhood sweetheart or something like that. And then when entering Norway, they just kind of like just leave me there to fend for myself. No guidance, no teaching, no emotional support, no love, just splitter coldness, just splitter abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, everything you can imagine of. I have been there with these people. And then let alone the fact that they were never there for me in anything. Even just doing my homework is like, oh, we're doing you a favor, helping out with your homework now and then. That kind of thing. And it was like, I moved out of the house when I was like 15 years old, and this was after they have literally been pressuring me to leave their house. They have been telling me over and over again to leave the house, different points, different times, different situations, but I was literally being chased from the house verbally for at least 2 years before I literally left the house. And one time I remember before I moved out, I just flew out to Oslo to meet this guy I was dating. And these people, they were calling. I never responded or nothing. But then when I came back, they were angry at me, not because I did not tell them I was leaving. They were angry at me because I left without telling them. And if something had happened to me, the police and the state will come and accuse them and interrogate them and investigate them and blame them for what happened to me. They were not worried about what could have happened to me as a teenager in a big city like Oslo. They didn't even care if I had died, because I asked the so-called mom, I was like, so you're not even worried that I could have died? She was like, you could just die. Just don't bring the police to our house. Just, if you're going to die, die out there, die in such a way that the police, state, or nobody will start coming questioning us to bring trouble upon us. This is what she told me straight to my face. It's like my life means nothing to them at all. And before that, we had a conversation, and this was about something issue going on in the house, one of the abuse things, stuff like that. And this so-called mommy came up to my room, and she was crying. And it wasn't because this is bad for everybody. It was because this was taking a toll on her. And then just suddenly she said, oh, I don't have a daughter. I did not understand it because I was too young, but she straight up told me that she doesn't have a daughter. And this is how she's treated me. And when I moved out of the house when I was like 15, 16 years old, she haven't even bothered looking for me. No, nothing. I'm the only one who's always been kind of trying to contact them again, because the way my life is as a victim of gang stalking is always trouble. There's no end. There is suffering. There's destruction. Everything is just problem. And because of that, I've always kind of like now and then put my foot there and then out again. Had it not been for my gang stalking, I would have left that time and never even spoken to them again until now, when I'm actually inquiring about DNA tests. And this woman, every time I contact her, is nothing to do with like, oh, how you doing? I'm so worried about you. Come home. Nothing like that. It's like she doesn't say nothing. It's just like, not even how you doing, where you been, anything like that. It's just about, oh, your brothers are worried about you. Oh, come home. They're asking me questions. People back in Africa asking questions about you. They're blaming me, that. Nothing about me at all. And these have been frequently. And then when I was in my first year in college, I literally changed my name officially, my last name only. I changed my name officially, and this woman never asked me about it. She never have spoken to me about it, never even asked me, oh, I've seen your name. Why have you changed your name? Never, ever. And I have told her a couple of times over the email, on phone, and even one time face to face, that I don't think you are my mother. I don't think you and whoever that man is are my biological parents. And she has never had anything to say about it. Not until last year, I literally asked her for a DNA test. And she became angry, and she was like, okay, don't contact me again until you are ready to take this DNA test. I was like, fine, I'm ready to take that freaking DNA test, but you only have to call up your lover, the one you used me to reunite yourself with, and then just left me to fend for myself in Norway. I need him to take this DNA test, me, you, him, so that I can know whether any of you are even my parents. And she refused to even call him. She will not even give him my number or give me his contact details at all. And since then, I've told her straight up, since you're not willing to contact so-called daddy about this, I'm going to take DNA test with Derek and Kenneth, your sons, my so-called brothers. I'm going to take a DNA test with them so that when the truth comes out, everybody knows the truth. No more lies. You no longer can manipulate them and keep telling them lies about me when you're not even my mother. You never wanted me in your life. You simply just used me, lied to the Norwegian state, lied to your own sons, lied to the community that you're my mother when you are not. And she told me that her sons will never take any DNA tests with me for as long as she's alive. She swore over her own dead body that will never, ever happen. And after that, I tried speaking to these boys. They won't even talk to me. She's already brainwashed them against me. So I'm in a situation where I never had a mother. I never had a father. I don't even know who my real biological biological parents are. I don't know, maybe I was an orphan or something. And then they just took advantage of me to reunite with themselves in Norway, because obviously that seems to be my situation. So if you tell me that I am strong, I don't want to hear it, because being strong in my situation means fighting to breathe. Being strong in my situation means I want to be alive, I want to walk, I want to breathe, I want to eat. That is what strong is in my situation, and this is what strong is in any other person who is a targeted individual, who is a victim of organized gang stalking. Is not something nice, it's not something pleasant, it's something I prefer not to be. Thank you.